has committed to reaching net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Under the city's BERDA ordinance, large buildings must track and reduce their emissions over time, but not all buildings face the same challenges. Rising 305 feet above Commonwealth Avenue, Boston University's Dwan Family Center for Computing and Data Sciences is different. It is the largest fully fossil fuel-free and net zero building in Boston. To understand how this building fits into Boston's climate goals, we spoke with BU Sustainability.
Sure. I'm Gabrielle Brewer. I'm data manager for BU Sustainability, and I am responsible for our BERDO reporting, so can definitely speak to our strategy and approaches there. On top of that, I also am responsible for our greenhouse gas inventory, tracking and managing our waste data, as well as some other internal and external reporting.
And I'm Sam Moller, Moller, and I am the Assistant Director of Communications for BU Sustainability. It's the largest fully fossil fuel-free and net zero building in the city of Boston. There's no gas line connected to the building. And on top of it, the university matches 100% of its electricity through renewable sources. Through the BU Wind project and solar projects on campus. It's also LEED Platinum, and one of the largest LEED Platinum buildings in the city of Boston. But the primary thing for why so many people talk about it is because it is a 305-foot tall academic building tower that has a striking architectural design, but it's also the largest fossil fuel-free and net zero building in the city.
Yeah, so as Sam just noted, the building is fully fossil fuel free, which means that it does not produce any emissions, whereas a lot of our other buildings do. And the primary reasons for that is one, that it operates on ground source geothermal heat pumps, so it's an electrified building heating and cooling system. And also, we match 100% of BU's electricity with our BU Wind project. And so because of that electricity matching, we can claim zero emissions for this building. It also has a really high performance building envelope and a exhaust air heat recovery system, so that we're not losing any energy as we bring fresh air into the building and cycle out the stale air in the building. And then some of the other efficiency features that are part of that envelope include the exterior louvers that are designed to help keep the sun's heat out in the summer. And then there's also the triple pane windows that help keep heat in the winter. And we also have a web page about this building on our website that you can reference that has a lot of other details about the efficiency of the building. Yeah, so I mean, I think the building really exemplifies the requirements that are set out in the BERDO ordinance because it is a zero emissions building. So for that building, we don't have to worry about any sort of compliance for it. And it means that we are really ahead of schedule on meeting compliance on that building. I'll also add that Boston University reports to BERDO under a Pathway 3 option, which means that we have a building portfolio, so we can report all of our building's emissions as one lump sum. And then that building portfolio is part of an individual compliance schedule. And so we have targets that are set based on a baseline emissions value that we established. And so we're really meeting the BERDO targets as a total university emissions, as opposed to meeting the targets building by building. So this building also helps us with meeting those portfolio requirements because it's bringing down our total emissions from our entire portfolio, not just that building alone. And one of the reasons that we opted to report as part of a portfolio with an individual compliance schedule is so that we are taking advantage of all this progress that we've made to date, and this building being part of that.
So there are sensors throughout the building. So the geothermal heat pumps are all on a sensor system. So our mechanical engineers are able to track that information. There's also occupancy sensors throughout the building. Because it is a glass building, you can think about the eastern side of the building is going to be naturally warmer because of sunlight in the morning. And then the western side is going to be naturally cooler. So as a result, with occupancy sensors in the building and coupling daylight hours and things like that, we can actually use certain air, we can direct more hot air or cool air depending on the time of year to certain sections of the building. And then each of the offices have individual temperature control. So all of that is built into that.
We do track the energy consumption from this building the same that we do for all of our other buildings, which is that we review the energy consumption annually. Of course, because of our 100% matching and the fact that it runs on geothermal heat pumps, we don't need to track the emissions for this building because there are none. So that simplifies it a bit. But yeah, annually at the university, we do track the total energy consumption from every building, and then that will inform our greenhouse gas emissions. So we are able to look at this progress year over year. And then if we wanted to, we also can look a little bit more granularly at the amount of energy that the building's using on a monthly basis as well. Again, I think it really exemplifies that goal.
Yeah.
It's already there. So we're ahead of the trend there. Yeah, I mean, I think this building is a really great example for a lot of other people to look towards for what a non zero emissions building can look like. I think internally it gave us a lot of confidence that we have the ability and we can decarbonize how we operate our built environment. And under the city and under Berto, it's very clear that buildings are our largest emitters, contribute the most to emissions in the city. And so, it showed us at BU that it's possible, but I think it also showed other people throughout the city of Boston that this is something that we can do. And it not only contributes to reducing emissions in the city, it also helps us to meet our Berto compliance, which all share the common goal of reducing emissions and improving air quality in the city.